All right, continuing today with crabs, crustaceans, and other stuff. And I've already, as soon as I hit the record button, people put their hands up and want to ask me a question. Yes, sir.
Is this going to be on Google Classroom if we need it?
As it always is?
Yes.
Yeah. Literally
Okay.
everything.
All right. Ghost crabs inhabit the dry upper area of ocean beaches. They're easily noticed when they scurry back and forth on the sand. When still, they blend in so well with their environment that they're hard to see. You will go on a ghost crab hunt next year on your beach trip, and you're going to notice that you're going to find most of them up near the sand dunes, not down near the water.
Are they going to be at night?
Okay.
Are they gonna be
Yes, it's at night. That's when you go ghost crab hunting. It is at night. You'll take your flashlight out so you can see them and all that. It's fun. It's a nice walk on the beach. All right, the square body of the ghost crab is only about 1.5 to 2 inches wide, but he has long legs. It makes him look a little bit bigger than he actually is. The top of the crab is off-white to tan, about the color of the sand, okay, which is why he's referred to as a ghost crab. It's not actually a ghost, obviously, but he blends in with his surroundings. Okay, he's hard to spot. Okay, he blends in well. Okay. Who asked that? Yeah, come on. All right. Now, the ghost crab does have pinchers that are white. They will have a tint of lavender on the tips of them. Lavender, of course, is a purplish color. Okay. They do have periscope eyes that are mounted on the end of stalks, which rotates to provide 360-degree vision. He can protect his eyes by retracting them in. We talked about that yesterday. He is a true crab. Okay, he is a true crab. He runs sideways, and and that's how and he's really fast. He is part of the swift family, swift-footed family, and he can run rather quickly. Unlike many of his relatives, he does not possess a thick protective shell. And it talks about how his pinchers are not that strong. That does not mean he cannot pinch you. Okay? He might not be able to take your finger off, but he can draw blood if he gets hold of you just right on the tip of your finger. Okay? So just be careful when you pick them up next year. Okay? Because somebody will tell you, oh, they can't pinch you. Yes, they can. Trust me, by someone who's been pinched many times, they can pinch you.
Where would you grab them if you
Okay.
pick them up? Was it just
Well,
on the
they-
stomach? No.
You pick them up by the side to try to keep them from near the back to
When you
keep
grab
them
his
from getting
stick,
hold of
grab
you.
it out of your neck.
Now you grab by the eye stalk and swing them around. What do you think you do? I mean, how do you pick up anything that you're trying not to hurt?
You got to hold him right behind the head.
Goodness gracious, Leo.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, first of all, they will explain to you next year how to pick them up. Primarily, they're going to tell you not to. Okay, they're going to tell you not to. Well, you will, because you're going to do what you want, not what you're told to do. You've proven that all year. So why stop now, right?
So they will tell you how to pick
All right,
them up,
they
but
will.
they will
They-
also
they-
tell you not to.
But they'll tell you, they'll let you pick them up. They just want you to be careful. They don't want you to hurt them.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, I'm not
You're not out there. Stop talking when I'm talking. They're not. You're going on a ghost crab hunt. You're not. By hunt, we're not talking. We're looking for food. You're just out having some fun. Okay? You don't want to hurt these things. Okay? It's that simple. You don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
You want to pick them up. You want to take a look at them, and then you want to put them down and release them and let them go on about their business. You're not there to do harm. Okay? That's the whole idea. Okay? The ghost crab seek. We're going to stop talking now, or you're going to leave my class. I don't care which one. Okay? But it's going to be one or the other of those today. All right. The ghost crab seeks more live prey and is less a scavenger. Okay? Remember, a scavenger eats pretty much anything he can come across. If he comes across something that's already been killed or just died by natural
not.
causes, whatever, he will eat it. Okay,
He's not.
that's not what this guy does. Okay, he's more of a hunter. He actually likes live prey. He will prey on beach fleas, mole crabs, sea turtles, hatchlings, other small animals. Okay, this is where it gets really cool about this guy.
Isn't he smaller than
He will hibernate over the winter in their burrows by holding their breath for up to 6 weeks. And the way they do that is they go down to, because they have gills, so they have to go down. They get the oxygen in, but they've got air sacs in there that they fill up with oxygen. They go back, they go to their burrow, they hibernate. If you're hibernating, your metabolism is going very, very slow. So they're not burning a lot of energy, so it's not taking a lot of air. So they can actually go 6 weeks before they have to come out, go back down, and replenish their air supply and come back. That's pretty cool. Okay?
Wait, I
That's
have a quick
insane.
question.
Hold up. Is this the
Horse crab
next
looks
one?
like a bug, but with
That's
a
what it
shell.
said.
Okay. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right. Thank you.
It took my vine.
Okay. Now, horseshoe crab. Another very interesting little good fella out there. Okay. He is called a living fossil. He is one of the oldest known living species of animals. Scientists think that these guys have lived in the oceans since before the dinosaurs roamed the earth. Okay? They think this could possibly be one of the, scientists don't say it, but basically this could be one of the first creatures that was created by God on earth at all. Okay? He's not a true crab, nor is he a crustacean. Okay? But he's in this category because they had to put him somewhere. Okay? The horseshoe crab is in a separate class all by himself. His actual closest living relative is a spider.
Oh my god.
Okay?
It looked like, I know this is
So
weird, but
he-
you know what they look like?
He's a little different.
They look like stingers.
Okay? Although he is very menacing in appearance, he's actually quite harmless. He will not hurt you. Now, you notice his mouth is up here. Okay? This is his gills back here. Gills. Remember that because that's going to be important in a second when we start talking about something. Gills are back here. He has 5 pairs of walking legs. How many pairs does a normal crab have?
10. No,
5 pairs, but there's 10 left.
How many walking?
Oh,
3.
3. Thank you. Okay, he has 3. Yes, Brady.
I always thought that that little tail was like a stinger.
Stinger? No, it's not. It is not a stinger. Come on back down. So I can see it. We're not done. Come on down. Come on down. There you go. All right. He does have 1 pair of feeding pinchers. Okay. He's got 2 sets of eyes. He's got 1 set here, and then he's got the little medium eyes here. So he's got 4 eyes. But they're on his shell. They're not on stalks, because he's not a true crab. Okay? The tail, people do think it's Brady said he thought it was a stinger. Most people do. He uses that tail as a rudder when he's in the water, or if he gets flipped over, like the current washes him up and he gets flipped over on his back, he will use that tail to flip himself back over.
Wait, will he stick it on his shell and like flip
He'll
himself?
flip it
Like
whatever he needs to do in order to get him
Will he
turned
do
back
it like
over.
a pulpit? Like he puts it like under him and it like freaking then he like lets it shoot up?
Whatever he needs to do to angle himself. Yes, now, thank you. All right, now, the horseshoe crab does resemble a flattened out helmet, trailing a spiked tail. On its underside, the front part of its shells has the shape of a horseshoe. Okay, The central part, down there you go, is all legs. He's got 5 pairs of walking legs. The mouth of the animal is located between the last 3 pairs of legs. Okay? Now, this is where he starts getting interesting. The unique breathing apparatus of the horseshoe crab, he has 6 pairs of book gills. They are actually back behind the legs. Okay? The spiked tail is used as a lever to turn the animal if he is turned on his back by the surf or current. The legs actually provide locomotion, but it also grinds up his food. So as he is walking, he catches something. As he is walking, his legs are chewing his food for him and working it up towards his mouth, or back towards his mouth. Okay? As a horseshoe crab walks, the spines on the upper joints of each leg chews his food, much like teeth. The food is then passed backwards through the legs into the mouth.
That's so cool.
So his legs chews his food for him as he's walking. So in other words, the only way this guy can eat is he's got to be walking in order to eat, because his legs chews his food. It's a little weird.
A little?
Okay? Now, this is even more weird. His book gills can breathe both water and air. He doesn't have lungs, he's got gills. Okay? But he can go into water and breathe the oxygen from the water, or he can come on land and just breathe air with gills. That's a little different. That's the only. You pull a fish out of water, what does it do?
Die.
Suffocates.
It slips.
Yeah, it can't. It suffocates. That's why he's slipping all
Would you
around.
call it drowning?
No, you call it suffocation.
Which is like when you
That's why I said he
drown when you're in
suffocates.
the water, you suffocate when you're in the air.
Okay. Okay. But you are right. I mean, basically, that's what drowning is. If you're in the water, you suffocate. But if you pull something that breathes in water out,
Exactly.
then he just suffocates. Yeah, it's terminology,
You know
but
how,
yeah.
like, humans can't see air, but humans can see water? Do you think fish can't see water, but they can't see air?
What?
I don't know, Leo. That's just too deep for me, dude. If you go to Hong Kong, you can see air
Wait, is that true?
because it's all brown and nasty. All right. We also refer to it as pollution, but that's beside the point. All right. The eyes are fixed on the shell, unlike eyes of a true crab, which are placed on the end of the stalks. Okay? All right. Marsh crab. The marsh crab is small. He's only about 1 inch across. He is similar to the size of a fiddler crab. He is distinguished characteristic of the marsh crab is he's nearly square. His little body is nearly squared.
It looks like a bee.
Other features include a dark brown or olive color. He has 2 black eyes. Okay? Located at the front corner of his shells. He has thin legs, 2 tiny purplish claws. And of course, he is called a marsh crab because guess where he lives?
The marsh.
In the marsh. Okay? The burrows of a marsh crab are in the upper area of the marsh. He's often mixed in with fiddler crabs. They kind of have their habitats together there. Okay? So they kind of get along. Just a minute. Okay, the marsh crab is one of the few animals that actually feed on the marsh grasses itself. It does prefer the older outer leaves of the Spartan grasses, algae, and small dead animals. So he is more of a scavenger. He will eat vegetation. If he eats meat or something of that nature, it is usually because he finds it dead. He's a scavenger. But most crabs are. Yes?
That thing looks like the fungi
confusing him with the tree octopus that lives in Georgia.
Yeah, that.
You ever seen him?
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got tree octopus that lives in Georgia.
Same thing as
Yeah,
a
they
land
have
shark.
a type. They have it's octopus, but they live in trees.
Well, I look.
Really weird.
I've seen one of those.
That's
Eyes
the,
are about this big around. Like, are you kidding? Yes, I'm kidding. Octopus do not live in trees.
I knew that.
There you go.
I thought you were reading. Yeah, I've seen giraffes. But it's I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can- you
feel
can-
like that's
You
not.
can go up. We got it.
But there are the trees.
All right.
I was about to say, that would be really weird if it was like
That would be.
just in
There's enough things in life to worry about without being attacked by a octopus as you walk through the woods. Okay? All right. A Moe crab can be safely picked up, okay, and examined in the palm of your hand. They do not have pinchers, so are they a true crab? No, they don't have pinchers. They're not a true crab. Okay. Female crabs grows to be about 1 inch. Males are about ½ an inch. Moe crabs have eyes that are located on the end of movable stalks. So they do have stalks and with their eyes, but they don't have pinchers. So therefore, you got to have all this stuff in order to be a true crab. So they're not a true crab. Okay. They continuous moving into waves, breaking on the beach when the waves breaks on the beach, because the wave comes in and kind of moves the sand and uncovers them. So they immediately start digging back in, because if they don't, they get washed out into the water, where fish loves these things. These are the reason that you see the little birds that runs down, and everybody thinks they're just playing in the water. Waves comes in, uncovers these, they run down,
Snatch them.
start eating. Waves comes back in, they run away. That's what they're doing. They're chowing down on these guys. If you surf fish, these guys makes great bait, and it's free. Okay, you take your little shovel and a pail out there, and you can fill up a pail in just a matter of seconds with these suckers. Okay, so they're all over the place. And fish likes to eat them.
Just any beach.
They're just a little creature.
With it, like any beach, you can do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're on just about any beach. Okay? All right, let's talk about shrimps for a second. Let's talk about shrimp. There we go. All right. Shrimp, like lobsters, crayfish, and crabs, are crustaceans. They do have segmented bodies, jointed legs, stalked eyes. They have that hard external skeleton, which means they have a shell. We find 3 types off the Carolinas. You got your pink, your white, and your red, or I'm sorry, your brown. White, brown, and red, also pink. It's kind of a pinkish. Okay. If you lift it up just a little bit and get all 3 of the pictures on there, Julia. There you go. You can see the difference in them. You see the difference in them? The shape, the antennas, the filler antennas that they have. Which one do you think, if you go shrimping off the Carolina coast, which one do you think you're going to catch? What do you think?
Red.
Brown. It's actually the brown guy.
I like red.
Because people put poop in the.
Well, they all look red after you boil them.
Well, yeah, I know.
Well, once you cook them, they all appear red. But you're going to catch basically the brown one.
You're not funny, Brian.
Okay, you're going to catch the brown.
It's true. Braxton, you're on a walk.
Well, why do you have to tell us? It's not like you're
All
supposed
right.
to tell us that.
Female shrimp, which grows a little larger than the males, can reach over 8 inches in length. We're going to stop talking now and pay attention. Okay? They have 19 sets of appendages, including antennas for filling, jaws for eating, jaw feet for feeding, legs for walking, and swimmerets, and a tail for swimming. Okay? They can walk forward on the bottom, or they can swim forward very slowly. But when they are threatened, they actually will turn and use that tail and flap that tail and propel themselves back. Okay? What other animal did we talk about that kind of does that? Octopus, okay, shrimp, octopus, not shrimp, but squid, octopus, things like that. Very good.
Oh,
All right. Being scavengers, they will eat almost anything. Their diets will include algae, decaying matter, worms, crabs, small fish. They are another one that when they molt, as they grow, they have to molt, which means they leave the external shell behind. They then will eat that shell for the calcium that helps harden up their new shell. Okay? All right, spiny lobsters. Yay, spiny
One
lobsters.
more paragraph.
When shrimp molt. No.
Oh yeah. When they molt, back still on shrimp here. I missed a paragraph. Thank you, Julia. They also loses its stomach lining and its terminal intestinal tract. So when they molt, they lose their intestines and their stomach. So they got to grow that back also. That would be a tough thing to do, you would think. So they're most vulnerable, just like the crab. Once they lose that shell, until the other one hardens up, they are more vulnerable
Can you go up
to
just a little bit
predators
so I can read
and
that?
things like that. Okay. All right,
She wants to do it.
make it fast. Again, it's online. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, the spiny lobster. Lobsters, like crabs, are again crustaceans. These lobsters are different than what we think about. We think about the northern lobster with the two big pitchers and all that stuff. You know, you go to a restaurant, seafood restaurant, and they got them in the tank and all that. That's what we think of when we see lobsters, okay? This guy's different. Spiny lobster is found off the Carolinas coast, actually the eastern coast here. They do not have those big claws like that. They're a little bit different, okay? They do have a large tail that stretches out behind them. Then they've got, they're in segment, got the tail, the little body, and the head, okay? He has no claws, okay? He is called a spiny lobster because he's got all these spiny things on him, okay, that helps protect him because he doesn't have the claws to protect himself. Okay? The northern lobster has a smoother body with large pairs of pincers. This guy does not, okay? He grows to be about 2 feet or more in length. He can weigh up to 30 pounds. They're tan brown in color. They have a pair of light yellow or white spots that highlights their tail. You will see these next year at the aquarium at Fort Fisher. They've got them in a tank. They've got one that he's a good 2 feet. He's probably got a good 2 feet to him. Okay.
How long do they live?
I have no idea. Wild. I mean, they grow. They live to be probably 25, 30 years.
Okay, good.
Okay. Though they're clawless, the spiny lobster is protected by numerous strong spines on his shell and his antennas. He does have these prominent arches that comes out over his eyes that helps protect his eyes. Okay.
And that's why they're so good to do.
The antennas are long and they actually stretch the length of the lobster. Okay, and that's what the antenna is used as fillers. Okay. Now this is, and they either move by walking slowly or swimming. They hide during the day. They hide in crevices and on reefs and ledges. At night, they will come out. They eat worms and other small animals. Spiny lobsters range from a shallow water to depths of up to 300 feet. Okay? Braxton, if you do not stop, I'm going to remove you from class. Okay, you've been sitting there talking the entire class.
Yeah, but I've been taking it.
Braxton, why don't you step outside for me? Okay. When you collect yourself, you can come back in, but you need to step out and collect yourself for a second. Okay? Every autumn, spiny lobsters exhibit an unusual migration. They walk along the ocean bottom in a single file, maintaining contact with their antennas with the guy in front of them. Okay? Not radioing each other. They actually reach out and feel each other. Okay? Groups of up to 60 lobsters will head to deeper water for reasons that marine biologists hadn't figured out yet.
What do you mean they?
But they march, the marching lobster will travel up to 30 miles a day, and they will do this for several days.
So it'd be 12.
So they're not 100% sure what they're doing. Sure you've collected? Because you come back in and do your little... Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, this is what they look like. You notice they don't have big claws. Okay? Got the segmented bodies. Okay? These are the filler antennas. These are the arches that comes out over the eyeballs. These are like little spiny things all over him here. You'll see these.
So are they not hunted
okay.
very much because of the spines? No animal really wants to
Yeah,
eat
they,
the
no
spiny.
one eats. Well, I'm sure something could eat him, but most things stays away. Nobody. It'd be kind of like us trying to eat a porcupine. You know, with all the quills and all. That would be a major turnoff. You wouldn't really want to do that. Not when they were something else easier to eat. Okay.
Which one would you rather have?
All right. Well, that's 27 minutes that you're never going to get back. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of it. But they're getting crazy on me.